Hey guys, we're going to be starting a new unit this week. It's going to take us right through April break. Um, we were going to do some informational writing, but I think right now we are actually going to focus on a little bit of poetry. I have to be really honest. In 5 years, I've never actually taught poetry, but I thought now's the time to do something new for both of us, all of us, whatever. So I have a beautiful poem. It's called Hands that I'd like you guys to listen to. And then I want to talk about where we're going to go from here with that. So before you decide, oh my God, poetry, I hate it, listen to the poem. I think you guys will really like it. So let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to make this full size. Poetry is always meant to be heard rather than read. So I'm going to do my best to find at least most of our poems that we talk about in a video format, or I'll read them to you guys. So for today, this is Hands by Sarah Kay.
From New York, please give a warm Def Poetry welcome to 18-year-old Sarah Kay.
People used to tell me that I had beautiful hands, told me so often, in fact, that one day I started to believe them until I asked my photographer father, hey, Daddy, could I be a hand model? To which he said, no way. I don't remember the reason he gave me, and I would have been upset, but there were far too many stuffed animals to hold, too many homework assignments to write, too many boys to wave at, too many years to grow. We used to have a game, my dad and I, about holding hands, because we held hands everywhere, and every time either he or I would whisper a great big number to the other, pretending that we were keeping track of how many times we had held hands, that we were sure this one had to be 8,002,753. Hands learn more than minds do. Hands learn how to hold other hands, how to grip pencils and mold poetry, how to tickle pianos and dribble a basketball and grip the handles of a bicycle, how to hold old people and touch babies. I love hands like I love people. They're the maps and compasses with which we navigate our way through life. Some people read palms to tell your future, but I read hands to tell your past. Each scar marks a story worth telling. Each calloused palm, each cracked knuckle is a missed punch or years in a factory. Now, I've seen Middle Eastern hands clenched in Middle Eastern fists, pounding against each other like war drums. Each country sees their fists as warriors and others as enemies, even if fists alone are only hands. But this is not about politics. No, hands are not about politics. This is a poem about love and fingers. Fingers interlocked like a beautiful zipper of prayer. One time, I grabbed my dad's hand so that our fingers interlocked perfectly, but he changed positions, saying, no, that handhold is for your mom. Kids high five, but grown up, we learn how to shake hands. You need a firm handshake, but don't hold on too tight, but don't let go too soon, but don't hold down for too long. But hands are not about politics. When did it become so complicated? I always thought it's simple. The other day, my dad looked at my hands as if seeing them for the first time, and with laughter behind his eyelids, with all the seriousness a man of his humor could muster, he said, you know, you've got nice hands. You could have been a hand model. And before the laughter can escape me, I shake my head at him and squeeze his hand. 8,002,754.
All right, so that poem was all about the memories that someone's hands hold with them. She talked a lot about the different things that she does with her hands, and she talks about how hands tend to learn new things in the way that your brain can't. So what we are going to do is we are going to focus on our own personal memories and think about all the things that our hands can remember for us. So your first task is going to be to trace a picture of your hand, like when you were in kindergarten, put it on a piece of paper, trace it right out. Be super fun, super easy. I added fingernails to mine because I felt like it. Do it, don't do it, it's up to you. So you're gonna trace out your hand. I suggest spreading your fingers as wide as they go, just to give you more space in the drawing. You'll see why later. So for today, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you come up with a list of things, a list of memories that are connected to things you've touched in the past. So I've got my list here on my sheet of paper. I did it right on the back of my hand. And I wrote down things like holding Ellie for the first time, petting my cat the day I got her, gripping the blocks right before diving in a race. I was a swimmer, and you stand up on those blocks and you hold them tight, because then you take them and you use your arms to launch you forward into a race. So you always knew what a pool was like based on the way their blocks felt. And I went down and I talk about things like the dirt under my nails from my garden, my handlebars on my dirt bike on a trail. You guys can go anywhere with it. You can talk about things you love to do. Maybe it's a sporting event. Maybe it's cooking and it's the feel of that spatula that's always in your hand when you cook. Maybe it's the way it feels to hold a pet or a favorite toy. Maybe it's a really old memory from when you were little and it was reading your favorite book with your parents. Anything. I really want you guys to think about memories that made you happy. Maybe it's from a long time ago. Maybe it's something you still do today. I still 100% go dirt biking all the time. That's not an old memory, that's an all the time memory. So for today and tomorrow, you're just gonna start working on your list. Eventually, our product is gonna look like this. We're gonna take all our memories and we're gonna fill our hands with it. But I want you to work on your list first. I came up with 13 things and then I crossed one out because I didn't really remember where I was going with it. I want you guys to try to have at least, I'm gonna say 8 things. I think 10 or 12 will make it easier, but I think 8 will give us plenty to fill up a hand. And then we're going to go from there. So the way we're going to set class up, at least until break, if not for the rest of the year, is that I'm going to give you an assignment every other day. It's going to be about a 45 minute assignment like it's been. But then the other day, I'm going to expect you to read for at least half an hour. You can read any book you want to. You can do an audiobook, whatever you would like. I don't care if you want to read for 15 minutes every day and then split the assignment up half and half. I don't care if you want to read for half an hour, do the whole assignment one day, do nothing the other day. As long as you are getting 2 days of our poetry work and 2 days of our reading every day, every week, as long as by Friday we've done all of that, I am really happy with you figuring out how to split up your work. I know some classes have more work some days and less other days. Feel free to use my class to kind of wiggle around those longer days and move my stuff to a different day as long as it gets done.